There are a few things in life that make me say, ah, my recliner, Mama's fried chicken, and the perfect cup of coffee. The warmth and smell of a hot, fresh cup of Community Coffee at Big Red Store starts your day off right every time. Community Coffee uses 100% Arabica coffee beans, roasted and blended using recipes perfected over 95 years. Dark roast, medium roast, in-between roast, and more. Big Red Stores is K-Cups for single serve or the new Thermal Fresh dispensers with a brew time displayed right on the front so you know it's always fresh.
Welcome into this week's edition of Panther Coach's Corner, brought to you by Big Red on Fidelity Local 6. I'm Jim Gardner, joined by the head coach of the Benton Panthers, Dexter Hendricks. Dexter, it's kind of a weird spot to be in because, as we were talking, since December 29th, you've only played one game in basically 18 days, and that's very, very strange for the middle of the season.
It is very odd, very unique. For to say the most part, we feel like we should be well rested and have our legs, but at the same time, coaches, players, I know every team in our conference, we're ready to play games, and well, at least we think we're ready. We've had a lot of time prepared. That's one positive we're trying to take on it. Can't always control the weather and those type of things, but one positive we're taking away from it is we should have plenty of legs and rest, and we've been able to spend a lot of time preparation. And it's kind of like a little bit before season. We had a few days to work on ourselves, just focus on ourselves and our team, and then we have had plenty of days to focus on our opponents as well. But it is very unique, and we're just trying as a staff to think about it, the best way to attack it, and hopefully we'll get to play this week.
Do you get the sense the guys are getting tired of practicing against each other, kind of like preseason?
No doubt. Since school started, we kind of today's practice plan was our 108th practice. So, we practiced a lot, and believe me, we could always get more practice in and could get better. But, our guys, we're ready to see what we can do out on the floor, and there's nothing like that game experience and going back at the drawing board looking at that after a game.
Tell us what goes into a coach's planning of practice. That's something a lot of the fans are not here. They don't watch and see. What do you and Coach Fish think about, decide, plan to make a practice successful?
Sure, that's a great question. We spend a lot of time focused on that. I think a big thing you can take away from it is we think about a lot our style of play, how we want to play, what we want to accomplish on both ends of the floor, and now how can we work to get better at that throughout practice. We definitely don't want to work on something we're not going to use in a game, or we don't want to waste any time, so-called. We know our players are here and they're ready to work hard, and attention to detail is very important, and so we want to keep them very, alert and active through practice. So in practice, we do a lot of competitive stuff to keep our edge, so-called, and then we spend a lot of skill development time. We always think that's very important in our program on a daily basis. And then we spend a lot of time in preparation for our team and really trying to do things the way we want to do it, both offense and defensively. And today, they'll spend this time we've had off. We spent some time in the weight room, a lot of time in the film room. And so, but it is. I think the biggest thing we can take away from practice is doing things the way we want to do it and playing our style of play and working on that through the day, every day. And it's practice is the number one thing around here. That's what we know that we're going to play the way we practice. We're going to play, practice the way we play. So it's very important to us. And I know all coaches say that, but it's we definitely take it. And it's practice time is very short now. At the beginning of the year, we're going 2.5 hours. Now you're in the middle of January, and you want to go about hour and a half, and save our legs. And you're going through. We played a lot of basketball games already, so putting a lot of thought process into it and just how we want to play is very important to us.
I know you like the rhythm of the Tuesday, Friday. You get the practices in between and have really had that busted up with the schedule and then the cancellation with Pine Bluff due to the weather. Let's talk about the one game you have played in 2018, and that was at the Galaxy last Tuesday night against the number one team in the state, Little Rock Mills. Got in a hole in that first quarter, really played well the last three quarters. Why don't you kind of give us your summary of that ball game?
Yeah, and really going back and looking at the film and the game, first quarter definitely put us in a bind, but it really not only the first quarter, it was really just 3 minutes from about the 5-minute mark to about the 2-minute mark in the first quarter. We just let them guys go get on a big run, and got to give credit to them. They made some tough shots and made the plays, and they had everything to do with it, no doubt about it. But we just let the game get in their tempo, whether it's it's when you play the number one team like that, you're have very little room for error against those guys. And, maybe one contested shot or one bad shot, even sometimes you make a shot. If it's a quick, it just gets in their tempo, and they push the ball so quick and so talented offensively, they can hurt you in so many ways. So, if you take bad shots or turn the ball over like we had 8 turnovers in that first quarter and you let them shoot easy shots and make easy plays, that even puts yourself in a tougher situation. And that's what we did in the first quarter. But after that, I was really proud. Our guys could have put their heads down a lot during that game, but they battled back and cut it to 6. That's the closest we got 3 different times, even late in the third quarter, early in the fourth, but could never get over that hump and just didn't make enough plays down the stretch. But again, got to give Little Rock Mills credit. They're well deserved that spot they're in.
Jay had a good night last Tuesday at Mills.
Had a great night. Scored 29. We have 29 points down for him, and really scored the ball really well in the second half, especially late in the game, making some big shots and big efforts. And that's something not only we've been proud of Jay the way he's scoring, but the way he's sharing the basketball, getting guys involved, and he did another great job of that last week. But something we know everybody's going to focus on him and try to slow him down. But I think the best we can do is put him in the best situation to score, make things easy and not make it tough. And I think that starts with our defense. And he got a lot of easy baskets during that game early. That then in the half court when he had to shoot some of those contested shots, it was a lot easier for him being in rhythm. So.
Yeah, Pine Bluff was scheduled for last Friday, got canceled due to Pine Bluff being out of school due to the winter weather down there. The makeup day now is Wednesday. It's an odd day to play, but you make that game up against a Zebra team whose overall record's not that flashy, but they've not lost in district play.
That's right. That's correct. And it seems like Pine Bluff always does that. They come out and they're kind of their record is so-so at the beginning of the year, and then in January, February, they really get hot, especially the month of February. The last couple of years, or since I've been at Benton, at least that's how it's gone. So we know these guys are very dangerous, well coached. I have a lot of respect for Coach Dixon down there, and they got 2 guards that can flat out fill it up. And and we're going to really have to slow those guys down. Probably one of their best scores is a 5'7" point guard, lightning quick, will shoot it anytime, anywhere on the floor. So really have to slow those guys down and make things tough on them. And then they're coming back, really relying a lot on their senior guard, Kendrick Thorne, and he's a player. He's scored the ball really, really well for them this season, kind of taking that responsibility well. And like I said, we know it's going to be a battle on the boards and transition defense, all things we try to focus on every day in practice. And so they definitely have our full attention and respect, and hopefully we can get that game in this week and on Wednesday and try to give it our best shot.
Tempo seems to be another key when you play Pine Bluff, huh? Yeah,
and I know some of our kids will talk about it, and they kind of, I don't know if they're mocking me or making fun of me. It's they really enjoy making fun of me, believe it or not, Jim. I like that a lot. So all my sayings, but that's something I say every day is we want to control the tempo, and really what we mean by that is we just want to get what we want on both ends of the floor every possession. If it's some guys think, well, coach, you're talking about holding the ball, you're talking about stalling, and it might just be 1 to 2 more passes. Just getting a great shot. Our whole thing with tempo is why settle for good when you can get great, and we just think that's kind of our style of play, and that's what brings us success in the games we've won this year, and we definitely control the tempo. So that's a very important key for us.
So you got Pine Bluff on Wednesday, and then Sheridan comes to town on Friday night, and Sheridan will always fill up this visiting side. They always bring a big crowd, and it's a game that Sheridan always wants to win. They put a target on Benton. Big game in conference play.
Yes, no doubt about it. Ever since when I took the job here, people have talked to me a lot about that. But Sheridan's always a very competitive game, and they would say Sheridan's Super Bowl, so-called. So, and there's been a lot of truth to that. Every game we played has been very, very tough down the stretch. We've been fortunate to win that. But I think Sheridan's probably got one of the best basketball club since I've seen them since I've been here. They have a great player, one of the best scorers in the conference, and Tyler Cleveland, a great, it's a really good senior point guard for those guys, and they're handling the ball really, really well, and they're scoring the ball really well. So those guys will be very prepared, and I got a lot of respect for Coach Scott down there and what he does, how he coaches their program, and so there's another team that has our full attention and respect, and it'll be a tough game, no doubt about it, and hopefully we can be prepared for that, and it might be a back-to-back night, no telling what the weather's going to do, but they'll definitely, I think, be ready to play for us.
And with the extended break here, I mean, you got to feel good about the health and the durability of your team potentially playing 2 games within 3 days.
Well, we think so. We hope that's the case. But we have had some time to rest and get off our feet, and at the same time, we've had got a lot of reps up. So, like I said, there's nothing like that game experience and game reps. Sometimes you practice and you get out on the floor and adrenaline hits you, and then it goes away pretty quick, and you get that second win. So we're just our guys, but you're right about it. They're ready to play. They like practicing, but they love playing, and so that we hope that that's the case and for us, that we're prepared for a back-to-back night if that's a situation we get put in.
And I hope all the Panther fans will come out and cheer on this 13-4 Benton Panther team with 2 games at home this week against Pine Bluff and Sheridan. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll visit with Panther seniors Jay Peters and Evan Sims. This is Benton Panther Coach's Corner on Fidelity Local 6, brought to you by Big Red.
There are a few things in life that make me say, ah, my recliner, Mama's fried chicken, and the perfect cup of coffee. The warmth and smell of a hot, fresh cup of community coffee at Big Red Store starts your day off right every time. Community Coffee uses 100% Arabica coffee beans, roasted and blended using recipes perfected over 95 years. Dark roast, medium roast, in-between roast, and more. Big Red Store uses K-Cups for single serve or the new Thermal Fresh dispensers with a brew time displayed right on the front so you know it's always fresh.
Welcome back to the Panther Coach's Corner on Fidelity Local 6, brought to you by Big Red Convenience Stores. We're going to spend some time with a couple of the Panther seniors here to end this week's Coach's Show, and we begin with Jay Peters. Jay, welcome in. You're starting for the 3rd year for the Panthers.
Yes, sir. It feels good, being a senior. These guys really look up to me. I'm just trying to do what I can do to make the team happy and the organization happy.
So you've made a move this year from shooting guard to point guard. How's that going?
In the summer, it was difficult. I didn't think I was going to be able to do it, but coaches believed in me, gave me the ball, told me, this is my team this year, just take over.
So you got to start as a sophomore. What was that like, being the young guy on the team and getting pushed into the starting lineup so soon?
I was kind of nervous. My cousin Clay Anderson, Jake Scroggins, and all of them, they was just like, don't be nervous, just go out there and play ball. So that's what I did. And it worked out good, actually.
And last year, your junior year, is a 20-win year for the Panthers, and a good year for you at shooting guard.
Yes, sir. Yeah, it was good. I had Weston Riddick and Fred and Shaheed. I had to feed off those guys, so, it was easy. And then Wes, if I was getting double teamed, I could just go to Wes and he'll pick up my job. So it was pretty easy last year.
Last year, the bugaboo for the Panthers was Pine Bluff.
Yeah.
Those guys got you every time y'all played last year, and now that's your next game. How excited are you to play Pine Bluff for the first time this year?
Oh, I'm real excited. They took away our season last year, and, just kind of left bad feeling in my mouth. So, I can't wait to play them guys again. Got to beat them. So
the Panther fans that come Wednesday night to watch you play Pine Bluff, what are they going to see out of the Zebras?
They're going to see fast guys. They like to press, get in you, speed you up. But, coaches said we got to play our game, we got to just slow the pace down, just play our tempo, and we should be fine.
So this year, your senior year, how do you think it's going from a personal standpoint and a team standpoint?
Team standpoint, I think we're doing pretty good. We're 13-4 on the year, just lost to a good Little Rock Mills team. Other than that, everything's pretty good, actually. And personal, I feel like I could do better, get my teammates involved a little bit more, but other than that, everything's good.
You got a real close loss to Catholic, a real close loss to Bryant in a heartbreaker, and then Mills, who's the #1 team in the state, has got you a couple of times. But you guys have been right there. I know last week when you played them, you kind of got down early, and then the last 3 quarters, you basically won the game by a point. Just too big of a hole early.
Yeah, we let them get the game going in their tempo. And just after that, we was playing catch-up, and it was kind of hard to get back. #1 team in the state. Guys are fast, athletic, and they like to run, so it's kind of hard to get back in.
Tempo, you keep using that word. That's a big thing for this team and for you personally as a point guard, isn't it?
Yes, sir. It's tough, especially when you got fast guys like that. They like to run up and down the court. You got to just take it slow. So you have to do against Pine Bluff come Wednesday.
So what are Jay's plans after high school? I know you still got the rest of this season in a state championship, hopefully to win for Benton High School. What are your plans after high school?
Hopefully, I'm trying to play college basketball somewhere. I don't know where yet, though, but, hopefully I can get that going.
Some of the schools recruiting you right now?
Yes, sir. I got North Ark, OBU, Henderson State, and a few others.
Well, we wish you all the best, Jay. Thanks for playing hard, and best wishes to you in the future. Jay Peters, senior point guard for the Benton Panthers. We'll take a break and come back with another senior, Evan Sims, on the Panther Coaches Corner, brought to you by Big Red on Fidelity Local 6.
Being local, being part of the town, is what really sets us apart.
So it's just nice that we kind of take action.
And customer service really is asking questions and finding out what the customer's need is.
Thank you for being connected with Fidelity.
How many devices will you be running in your home?
This whole company, like technicians, everybody that I've worked with, they go above and beyond to give a good customer experience, more than what any customer expects.
I firmly believe in doing the best that we can for our customers.
It's just so you know, there's no data caps, no overage fees, so you can be on it 24/7.
One day I had 5 compliments in a row for technicians, and I think it's a big deal for customers to take time out of their day just to call and let us know that they went above and beyond for them.
Within Fidelity, teamwork is gigantic. We couldn't be anything without teamwork. We work together.
All right, welcome back to the Panther Coaches Corner on Fidelity Local 6, brought to you by Big Red Convenience Stores. Joined by Evan Sims now. And Evan, senior year, how's it going?
It's going good. It started out a little bit slower than I wanted it to, but I picked it up now, and I'm really starting to finish well and play a lot better. I'm liking how it's going.
So sophomore year was primarily a JV year for you. Junior year, you get into the starting lineup, play a big role on last year's team. What do you remember about your junior year?
Well, a lot more pressure was left off this year. I kind of got the ball to Jay, Shahid, West, just played a role, rebounded, just did what Coach told me to do. So it's a lot better now.
And now this year, your senior year, you're one of the featured players on this team and asked to carry a lot of the load on this team.
Yes, sir. I had to really step up my role, kind of contribute a lot more, do a lot more. And my teammates depend on me now, and I just got to back Jay up, help him get going when nights are slow for him.
One of the things in the games that we've done on Fidelity is it seems like you almost get the first basket every game, running the floor, get the pass, get the layup. Is that something by design?
Well, not really. Me and Jay just have really good chemistry, and I run the floor, and he just gets it to me. He runs well, and we just try to beat everyone down the floor.
So what do you like better, offense or defense?
I like offense better, but Coach isn't going to like to hear that.
You've done a great job your senior year, really picked up a lot on the scoring.
Yes, sir. I've just had a lot bigger role, sets designed for me this year. I was a lot more screener last year, so.
You guys, with you and Connor in the middle, a lot of height inside. And defensively, sometimes it's hard to tell if y'all are running man or zone. I mean, you really disguise your defenses very well. What's your role on the defensive end?
Just the rebound, block shots, get out there. I mean, I'm a lot quicker than Connor, so I got to get out on the wing. He has to stay in more. But Coach Fish switches up the defense a lot, so we run a lot of zone, matchup, man. We just run everything.
So this year's team, 13-4 right now, and you've kind of had a long break here. You hadn't played you've one game in 2 weeks. Kind of feel like a second preseason here, practicing so much?
Yes, sir. It feels a lot different. We got off to a good start, lost a few close games, but I mean, right now is when it's important. We got to win all these. So, looking to get Mills back. We got a big game against Pine Bluff this Wednesday. So they took our season away last year. It's big. We really look forward to this.
So a little payback in mind for the Panthers this week?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Good deal. You got Pine Bluff and then Sheridan, which is a big rival. Sheridan always wants to knock off Benton, and they come here on Friday as well. Tell us about the Mills games, because that's the #1 team in the state. You guys have been right there with them the first 2 times you played them.
Yes, sir. We thought we had them at Spa City. We had them at the very end. Me and Jay fouled out, last 90 seconds. So we thought we could get them at Mills, and then they got off to a quick hot start, and we couldn't get back in it. So looking forward to it when they come here.
Get them one more time. The good news is you don't see them in the state tournament. Well, Evan, being a senior, what are your plans after high school?
I'm not planning to play basketball. I'm planning to go study and get into pre-med, and then hopefully go to medical school. So see how that works out.
Any particular part of medicine you're interested in?
Optometry or dermatology.
Good for you. Well, I'm glad you're my neighbor. When you become a doctor, I'll say, hey, I knew that kid. So congratulations. Best wishes to you. Evan Sims, Panther Senior. And we wish Evan and Jay all the best in their future and appreciate them taking some time to join us today on the Panther Coaches Corner, brought to you by Big Red on Fidelity Local 6.
Bring home the best in local high school sports with Fidelity Local 6. Catch the players, the rivalries, and the fans that make game days electrifying in your hometown. Watch live broadcasts or on demand with Fido, the whole home DVR entertainment experience. It's the local coverage you want. Fidelity Local 6, the best in local high school sports coverage.
Welcome back to Panther Coaches Corner. Coach Hendricks, we got to visit with Jay Peters and Evan Sims, two of your really good seniors.
Yes, those guys have had a great senior year for us, and that's something we probably put a lot of focus on is as a team, you always, and as a coach, you always want to send your seniors out on the best year possible they could have. So we talked to a lot of these guys, about just in a month and a half, this will be over with, and how do we want to be remembered? How do we want to be looked at upon what we did and what we were able to accomplish. But that's something that's real special since I've been here is, wins and losses is definitely important, but we've been able to build some great relationships with our seniors and as our guys as they graduate, and I would think this senior class is no different than the others.
And you could tell Jay and Evan really have a good bond. You see their rapport on the floor, the way they pass and kind of know where each other is, but off the floor as they kind of needle each other in the interviews, it's kind of neat to watch.
Yeah, no doubt about it. They've got a great relationship, and you can see that, and I think a lot of that is credit. And we think all the time of how do we need to attack this spring and summer of practicing, of skill development, of playing games. You can play 100 games now, and I think the biggest thing we accomplish in the springtime and summertime is that chemistry. And I think those two guys are a perfect example of that. They've been playing together for a long, long time, and maybe different positions. They were in different roles last year, and now, but we've got so many reps with them this year that you can tell on the floor that that's paying off. But more importantly, their relationship off the floor is great, and they all give each other a hard time, believe it or not. But they do a great job of working for one another, and we talk about that a lot. Don't just think about yourself, think about your teammates as we go through this tough stretch and grind of conference play, and hopefully these guys will put that out when we play, and you'll be able to tell.
As we close this week's episode, just one quick peek at the rankings that were in the Democrat Gazette this Sunday. You look at the 6A rankings, Benton comes in at 5. But the 4 ahead of you are all in the East. So some early praise from the state scribes for Benton basketball.
Yeah, that stuff's really fun for our kids and our fans, and they really enjoy that. And it's a good thing. But you're right that we know that East is a monster over there. There's some really good teams and that are playing really at a high level. But it is to us. I know we enjoy it, but we know it's still early in the conference season, so-called. And what we want to do is. We told our guys, they came in talking about it the day after, and we really do everything we can to put us in the best position in that conference tournament, and hopefully when we get to that state tournament to be successful, and then we'll take a look at those rankings. So that's what's really important. But it is fun. It's fun to look at, and hopefully we can keep that up and be well-deserved at that spot.
Spoken like a coach. Look for the ranking at the end of the year, right? So hope Benton will continue to improve, and the next opportunity to do that this week against the Pine Bluff Zebras and the Sheridan Yellow Jackets. Both of those games at home, Pine Bluff Wednesday and Sheridan on Friday. Coach Hendricks, thanks for joining us again this week. For Coach Dexter Hendricks, Jay Peters, Evan Sims, this is Jim Gardner on this week's edition of Benton Panther Coaches Corner, brought to you by Big Red.
There are a few things in life that make me say, ah. My recliner, Mama's fried chicken, and the perfect cup of coffee. The warmth and smell of a hot, fresh cup of community coffee at Big Red Store starts your day off right every time. Community Coffee uses 100% Arabica coffee beans, roasted and blended using recipes perfected over 95 years. Dark roast, medium roast, in-between roast, and more. Big Red Stores is K-Cups for single serve or the new Thermal Fresh dispensers with a brew time displayed right on the front so you know it's always fresh.